Well, it's coming down to this, Chiefs fans. Welcome back. This is the final stream of the 2023 NFL Draft here on RGR Football. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We have a lot here that we're anticipating. It's the last pick. Chiefs kind of messed with us earlier in the day. We appreciate you guys coming back. Make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. Getting back to not being so rushed because the Chiefs didn't trade out, trade up, or move anything around here to make this selection. But it's been a busy day. And Dan, have you seen anybody go off the board since we were last on when the Chiefs last picked that really bothers you or that you're feeling down about?
Bothers me? I mean, not really so much. Of course, the Baltimore Ravens traded up to select Andrew Voorhees because that's what the Ravens do. They find value and they go attack it any way, shape, form they can. So that was a little more frustrating, to be honest with you, because I would have liked to see him in Kansas City. I know we talked a little bit about A.T. Perry getting selected right after the Chiefs. Yoshivesh going to the Bengals stung a little bit. I'm not too happy about that.
Fair enough.
To be anybody else, it wasn't like anything crazy that happened that I was like, I wish that wouldn't have happened. I was surprised to see the Chargers just complete the TCU trio and draft Max Duggan, because I'm sure that's exactly what the two receivers that you drafted wanted to see happen.
Yeah, right. Now we got to practice, just like we've been playing forever. It has been a lot of run here. I don't think I was expecting Kenny McIntosh to go off here in the 7th round. Disappointed for him. Andrew Voorhees did get stashed by Baltimore. I know you were talking about that. My guy Derek Parrish is now a Jaguar taken here late. Evidently, just the way things are stacking up now that the Eagles pick is in. We're about to hear that, and then the Chiefs are on the clock. Had Braden Willis, DJ Ivy, and then Brandon Hill just before the Eagles here to the Texans. I have no idea what this pick is going to be. It could be any of our guys that are kind of lingering out there. We've talked ad nauseum about them on the last stream. I'm not going to be surprised by anything in particular here unless they go some kind of specialist.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that there's a couple guys out there that would help fill out the rooms a little bit. Matt Derrick was talking about him being much higher on Ronnie Bell than the NFL teams. I'm the same way. It would make sense to all round out the draft class, bringing in, kind of bookend it with local guys. You start off drafting one, you end drafting one. That would be a nice poetic way to end the draft in Kansas City. So it wouldn't shock me to see them select Ronnie Bell with their very last pick in the 2023 NFL draft. I'd be pretty stoked about that, to be honest.
I can get down with that too. Did Deuce get selected? I didn't think that he had. He did. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he did. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys selected him.
Okay, well done, Dallas. And there goes my guy Moro Jomo, literally right before us. The Eagles want all D-line all the time. Okay,
they just want athletes. They don't even care. They're just like, oh, we're up. Who's the best athlete on our board? Somebody got it. Oh, just pick them. Just pick them.
So now in the 1st round and in the 7th round, what I get is bookend treatment from Howie Roseman in taking my guys just before they can go to Kansas City.
Just Howie, just knockout punch to Ryan's hopes and dreams. So, man,
I did I date his daughter at some point? I have no idea. I tell you, I've done sillier things, but man, that's just I was not prepared for that. So. It's in. Good for him. Both the Texas players do go. Jonah is in here stomping. I'm going to call it stomping anyway, for Keaton Mitchell. Certainly a viable option. I could see them adding some speed right here. This is right in the zone where Isaiah Pacheco became a Kansas City Chief. You got to enjoy that. Kudos to ESPN for finally showing the background shot at the draft. Love seeing the back shot so we can see the fountain. I thought that was underplayed given the city's name and reputation, but evidently they got away with it. Looks like the pick is in.
Yeah.
We have a number of our guys. Who do you want to see?
You guys heard me. I want Ronnie Bell. I want it to be Ronnie Bell. I think it will be Ronnie Bell. But other guys that I think they might go offense. So they did nothing but draft defense here. So I think it's probably wide receiver or running back. I think Keaton Mitchell makes a ton of sense. He's a very Chiefs pick. Good athlete. He's got the home run speed, and I think his build allows him to do some different things with pass protection and running between the tackles still. So I think that he's probably going to be on their board at least for a little bit, and I think it's between those two offensive players, or at least positionally. How about that?
Okay. We all know how I feel about Perry. He still hasn't gone. Trevor Reed is the last tackle. He did? I must have been falling asleep at some point. Okay, well,
you overreacted to it right after we picked, because the Saints took him right after we picked in the last round.
That was this year? Okay, I thought that was 2022. Sorry, everything's running together for me. What I do see on my board is the last athletic tackle that's left is Trevor Reed from Louisville.
Yes.
Just another long shot, but you never know where they're going to go here and pick up more value.
I'm interested. The Chiefs didn't take a tight end, which you figure they did completely close out their room with 4 tight ends. Once again, the same room they had last year. And I did wonder if that means that they were very comfortable. And if they don't take a tight end, to me, that's comforting in the sense that they are not worried about Travis Kelce's future right now. It's not on their mind. They have addressed, taking some fourth round, some day 3 guys. Noah Gray's a day 3 guy, but they have not invested heavily in trying to find a backup to Travis Kelce. So that makes me pretty comfortable with what they've done in that regard.
It could be. And maybe that's where they go right here. We're going to find out the selection's in. It's about to hit the screen as I'm watching.
Yeah, me too.
And hopefully that's where I cue you up and you guys put it up. Waiting.
Yeah, right. It's just sitting here.
This is how this works, folks. It is going to be Nick Jones from Ball State, the corner. A guy farther down on my list, but certainly somebody that I think is interesting. In the end, they double, triple down. They're going to keep that defensive backfield stocked of guys that they feel can contribute. I'm going to have to go back and check out what my grade on him was. Give me just a second. As he was on my board, not on my draft board itself, but on my list.
Yeah.
And so the only concern that I have is he comes out with a functional explosive rate and deep range rate that's in the 30s out of this class. I believe this is going to be DB 36 if I'm sorry, corner 36. So that's about on scale. This is going to be specifically a guy that can take the ball away. He's going to play special teams. He can get in that room and mix it up. I see kind of a Najee Johnson path ahead for him. Likely a practice squad player in year 1, somebody that can continue to develop, maybe play some teams or get bumped up at some point during his first season. I think that's fine. If that's the best athlete on your board at this point, take him and run. This is why they traded out and went back to next season with one of their picks today. Certainly they got their big chores done, and Brett Veach has to be pretty satisfied.
Yeah, I think that this is another attempt at maybe developing a ball hawking type of corner. He's not the best athlete in my mind. I don't think he's that great of an athlete. He didn't show tons of change of direction, but he's 6 foot. He's long. He's got 32 plus inch arms and 10-inch hands. Okay, that build tells you that they think he could be a type of maybe a Marcus Peters type of player in terms of maybe not always going to be man coverage. Lone man on an island. He might just be more of an off-ball cornerback that comes downhill, makes plays on the football. More instinctual than anything. Definitely going to be a special teams guy early. Again, rounding out their special teams is not a bad thing to do, especially here on the 7th round. So I understand not knowing who Nick Jones is, but there's been a little buzz about him throughout the process. Some people much higher on him out of Ball State than others. But I think that the big thing here is that he's going to probably come in, play special teams early, and the physical profile that he lends itself is more to ball production, which we have seen kind of be a little more, at least something they're trying to get with how many interceptions they didn't have last year, maybe trying to turn the corner on that going forward.
Yeah, knock on wood. That's the one place that I think the secondary needs to improve, really get after that and give the ball back to the offense a few times. Can't say that I'm shocked that it ended up being somebody in the secondary. Good for them. I think it's going to be an interesting land race to get the UDFAs in here and see if somebody can knock a draft pick off. That is a distinct possibility. Thundarius just got home. He said day 1 and 2 were a blast, and he's incredibly tired. I understand that. We kind of are in the same boat. But we'll be making a video of my experience soon and send all of you my B-roll footage. Appreciate that, Thundarius. I think we'll try to put it together a little bit. I thank you for that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I got to tell you, because this has been a great run for us, but it definitely has not been down at the fountain itself. So
yeah, definitely.
Chiefs Knicks fan,
Alex,
appreciate you as well. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Alex Austin was another guy out of Oregon State that I was looking at. The Bills selected him.
There you go.
So corner seems to be the way here at the end of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, get the best athletes that have a chance to help you on teams. It makes sense. Knicks fan, thank you. You guys are great. Thanks for all the good information all weekend long. Thank you for being here all weekend long, and all your support as always, Knicks fan. Appreciate you. Matthias, welcome to the memberships. I hope that you enjoy. Thank you for being here. It's been fun. Great question by Sean Taft here. What is the one that surprised us the most of the Chiefs picks? Do you have one?
I think the one that maybe surprised. I don't know if there's any of them that like shocked me, but I think that. Let me actually pull it up because I want to have everybody in front of me so I can go through my own my list here, because I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering everything already. I think the one that maybe surprised me the most was Shamari Connor. Shamari Connor. Not because it doesn't make sense. You go back and you watch. I'm going back and I watched. I'm like, yeah, this all makes sense. I just expected them to go maybe safety a little bit later, not so early on day 3, and maybe go after a developmental linebacker, another defensive end earlier than they did with BJ Thompson. But it's not like a huge surprise. They did need safety. That's something we talked about even in the 3rd round before Wanye Morris was drafted. We're going to start saying it right now so I can get into that mindset.
Right in the mode.
He was drafted. Yeah, we thought maybe even safety with the value there could be somewhere that they turn. So it makes sense for the structure of the defense going forward after this year. But I think that was just the more of the surprise where they took the safety.
Agreed. I think that's going to be a little bit as we go through, like, how does it fit into the shell of what is the rest of the roster? We're going to get to that here coming up. OTAs are right around the corner, folks, and don't worry, we're going to have you covered the entire time. For a lot of folks, end of this draft is where they check out. That is not what happens with us. We're going to enjoy our time here. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow night. If we can still get home and do a live, I will do that. If not, we're going to take a Sunday off, and we'll be back on Monday night for Q&A. But we just get rolling right ahead. Dan's going to look at Rashee Rice this week. I'm going to take a look at Wanye Morris and get a little bit in depth. I have a couple clips that are already ready, and I'm going to put those together for you. So we're not going to take that, hey, we'll be back in a month. No, we'll be back with you in a couple days on Monday and get started as always. But thank you. If you would hit the like and the bell here, we would appreciate it. Appreciate you mentioning that, Jayhawk. And Matthias, welcome to the memberships. If you did get in at rookie or above, then you can just tie it right to your Discord and go over to Rogue Nation. That's all in the links as well. And we'll have it back up on the screen on Monday night as well. Will they release D-Hop after today? That's the next question. If somebody wants to make an acquisition, I have to think that they will.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that in the next couple of weeks, that at the very least, he'll be a free agent. I don't believe he wants to play there going forward. I don't think that the team thinks that he wants to play there. So they couldn't trade him on draft day. Something's going to be happening with him, whether it's going to be, release or possible later trade, which I guess doesn't make a ton of sense to me. If they could get something else done later, it seems to be he's going to be on the roster or he's going to be cut relatively soon.
Yeah, I have to think so as well. Ronnie Bell does go just after to the Niners. Javarius Owens comes off. Niners are back on the clock. We have just a few more picks. And folks, just want to say thank you to you. We appreciate the thanks from you. Thank you for being here. Been a successful weekend around here. We very much appreciate your time and effort and hanging out with us. This has been a trying year for Dan and I, but we've gotten through it, and we're going to keep firing back at you. We'll be here next year as well. make sure if you're not subbed to NFL 33 already, go get after it, because breaking down classes, etc., is going to come over there for me.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at everything the Chiefs have done, break down each prospect in each position group as we get rolling through. I'll have a breakdown on the OTA schedule for you coming on Monday night. We'll answer that as part of the Q&A. Make sure that you guys are here for that. Jay Kelsey, thank you. I think it was a solid draft as well. May not live up to last year. Last year's going to be really hard to beat, I got to tell you. But
Yeah.
in fact, them rolling this footage of Morrow right now is going to really make me angry. So we're going to not pay attention to that. We're going to come back. And Terry, thank you for all the time that you spend listening to us, Terry. We do appreciate you here.
Appreciate that.
DJ, what's your thought? What's your favorite pick? I think we answered this earlier, and I came back to Mr. Morris myself.
Yeah, I think for me it's still Felix. I think he's going to be the best of the bunch of all of the draft picks. I think he's not only got the highest upside of everybody, but I think right now he helps them in an area that they do need a defensive end, pass rush acumen. I think he's already the most advanced pass rusher of the defensive ends on the roster. I like Amenawu, but he's not the most pass rush package player. He's really kind of a 1-2 trick guy, and he does a lot of his damage from the inside, being quicker than guards and centers. So I think he comes in as one of already the most refined pass rushers in Kansas City, and he's got upside to prove that he can be even better than that.
I'm really interested to see how they choose to deploy Benahiu. That's going to be the first one. Jack had a good question, Dan. Are you starting to teach Miss Avery so she can start doing the initial grades for us?
She's getting to the point now where she's interested in football. Like, we were running around on the track a couple days ago, and she was on the football field. So we're getting into, she's like, this summer we'll watch a little bit more together. She'll get more interested in it. But right now she's more like, who are you watching? Why are you watching that? Who's going to win? I don't care about that stuff right now. We need to get past the who's going to win part before she can start actively evaluating, which we'll get to. No worries there.
She will get there. From Tactics, notice that it's mostly the Eagles stealing our favorite picks, even though they don't necessarily need them. That's salt. It certainly has provided some salt for me this weekend, although I have to tell, for them, they're another obviously Super Bowl limping franchise, having come off of a Super Bowl loss. We know what that's like, and you want to keep your plan, but you sometimes have to replenish your players, and I think that does fit in just kind of coming back, doubling down on what you're doing, but who you're doing it with may be a little bit different. So just off the top of your head, a couple of UDFA targets that we'd like to see. I don't think that the Chiefs necessarily have the same board as we do, but a couple of my guys late that I had been looking at did go off. And Javarius Owens went late. Jarek Bernard Converse actually went off, I think, nearly a round ago before I even had him. So I'm a little frustrated with that one.
I think there's Rajon Wright is probably not going to get drafted. I'm a little upset about that. I don't think Ivan Pace Jr. has been drafted, which is another upsetting thing for me to see. I think he's a good fundamental instinctual player. I would like to bring him in. There's going to be some wide receivers here. I think Matt Landers is still out there. I don't think he's been drafted yet. That's another deep speed guy. Raheem Jarrett out there, another more of a gadget type player. Wouldn't be shocked to see them look to add him in UDFA as well.
Yeah, I can get down with that. Chiefs had Jeremy Banks in for a visit, the linebacker. The other guy that I think plays speedily and makes some great plays is Micah Baskerville from LSU.
Yeah.
Could be another UDFA linebacker come in. We moved down the list. Stephen Gilmore is probably my top corner UDFA right now. I don't think he's going to go here with the last pick, Mr. Irrelevant, but you never know. Lonnie Phelps, Earl Bostic, the KU guys are still out there. That makes things pretty easy coming over for a rookie tryout at the very least, or maybe get into the OTA program. Look for that. I don't think Fehoko went on the edge. Am I wrong? He did?
He absolutely did. He went early day 3.
Okay, I must have missed that one as well. We'll see what it's like, folks. You never quite know what's going on. Jared Clark is probably the best along the defensive line for me. The giant Coastal Carolina nose. Although probably don't need him, but it would be backup practice squad type guy to fill in. I like that. Where else? Trevor Reed has not gone yet either, from Louisville, the tackle. Kuntz went. It looks like most of the tight ends did get off the board.
Yeah.
Did Jacob Copeland go that I missed?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
believe so. Another deep threat.
And then our guy Tinsley, we talked about him. Derek Parrish obviously went, to my chagrin. Most of the backs have gone off the board, so I think that's a little bit thin there. And I don't know that the Chiefs need to bring in a UDFA quarterback, but if they were going to, I think Badgen's the last guy that's got a grade that you would go after right now.
Yeah, we had every other quarterback drafted on our board. I believe every quarterback that was drafted is on our board, except for Tyson Badgett. So that's pretty good.
He's on mine, so
yeah, he's on mine too. I'm just saying, like he just hasn't been selected.
Right.
So
gotcha.
we got those.
It ain't over yet. We got 2 picks.
I think Keaton Mitchell is somebody also might get brought in for UDFA.
Yeah, very good point.
To my knowledge. Payne Durham, tight end out of Purdue, is somebody again that I don't think he was drafted. If I'm wrong about that,
I thought he was.
Let me look.
Is it P-A-Y?
Payne.
I'm going to take some questions while you're checking that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's see. We talked about our favorites. We got there.
Oh, you're right. He went around 5. Oh, just go.
Daniel Hembry, Carter from Army as a UDFA. I mean, that's the only way. I still, as I understand, he's been given leave from what I heard the other day, that he will be able to play if he makes a roster. I just don't see what he can do for this particular team. Maybe there's a team that is even more edge hungry, but I don't see him making a fit or being able to make this roster. So you could certainly take him for a spin, but I don't know if he's got the next gear to make this roster.
Yeah, 3 days ago he was cleared to play in the NFL immediately and defer his military services. I did not realize that, but the simple fact that he has not been drafted tells you that the NFL does not believe that he can be productive, and that's going to make him most likely stay in the Army. That would be my guess right now, and it's unfortunate because there was, a ton of fundamental a ton of fundamental technique and understanding of like how to rush the passer that he has, but because of the restraints on his ability to get stronger, to weigh more, he was unable to fill out his frame and become decent. So he's probably not going to be drafted unless he is Mr. Irrelevant. Honestly, that'd be kind of a cool story for him to be the last player drafted here. So let's hold out hope, but at the end of the day, probably is not brought aboard anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of the direction that I'm leaning myself, but you never know. We will find out. Jeremy, thank you. You guys did a great job being here, and we very much appreciate it. Same to you, Ryan. Prince Mitchell Tucker at RB. Prince, who did I miss?
That's generic Prince, I believe.
Generic.
Yeah, I think that's the right name. I don't know I forget where he's from.
Bryce Ford Wheaton, yes, he's athletic. He has a drop issue, but you could definitely bring him in as a UDFA. I have no problem with that. Carter's the last one that will get to play. They changed the rules after him. Okay. I don't know what the current rules are. I just read the other day that he had been cleared and he will be eligible to play on the deferral. So
Tulsa.
Draft grade excluding Rashee Rice. I don't know how you exclude your number 2 pick, but I do think that they addressed their issues. Like we had talked all run up to the draft, OT, edge, wide receiver. They went 1, 2, 3 on the top 100 picks, and I think they did a good job addressing that. Everything from that point, they had built the floor of the roster, to my opinion, and everything that they did today is just filling out with the best player that they found. You couldn't really miss as long as you had a good grade on a guy. It's not like they had another hole they had to fill.
Exactly. And that's what all you can ask for. I think this was a good draft. Again, the floor has been set. You're really trying hard to not screw up a draft after you hit a heater like they did last year. Like that's what you want to do. You want to, especially if you win a Super Bowl. You won a Super Bowl. You're trying to continue to build your roster out for not necessarily this year, but for next year. There's guys here that every one of their draft picks has upside. None of them are floor-based players. Not one of them. That's a good indication that they feel comfortable about where everyone is on their roster now, and that these guys can look to help contribute this year and then in the future.
Oh, wait, did Tanner McKee get drafted?
He absolutely did.
Okay. Man, when I step away, I'm telling you. Alex Forsythe went. I'm just trying to run down the rest of my list. Eli Ricks, yes, I would definitely bring him in as a UDFA. Playing in that program, you've earned yourself the right. Joe Edwards, I assume you're talking about Bobo. I would bring him in, line him up at tight end, and see what you get. I definitely would do that. Who else we got? Any other ideas? Y'all hit them in the chat. And when she makes this last Mr. Irrelevant call, we are going to be done for the day and done for the draft.
I'd bring
gonna be excited.
In.
Yeah, I could bring Merriweather in. That's for sure. I'm a little surprised that Scott got drafted over him. It is it Desjuan Johnson from Toledo?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Okay. So Rams, well done. You have picked Mr. Irrelevant number 259, and this draft is concluded. Thank you all for being with us this weekend. Rajan Wright, another guy that we have talked about. We're going to see what happens with them tomorrow. Chris and I will record a quick show in the morning for the UDFA class, and Dan and I will discuss at length the UDFAs on Monday night. I am traveling back tomorrow, so everyone enjoy your Sunday. Now, Jackson Kirkland, possibility. I don't think he fits this scheme. He's not athletic enough to play in this offense, I believe, but I do like the player. Fresno State Cropper, sure, you could look at him. I had a draftable grade on him. And CEH's status. Here's the thing. I don't think you're seeing any movement at the running back unless it's an addition. I don't think that does anything to CEH. I think he will be on the roster now for 2023. D-Hop's going to be the big question as we go forward for the rest of this time to OTAs. Does he get released in the next 48 hours? That's going to be what we're watching. So if he does, we'll have some commentary on that as well. If you guys would like, sub, and hit the bell, we would appreciate it. Thank you for spending your draft weekend with us, Dan. Thank you for all your time away from your family. It's tough.
The 2023 NFL draft has been closed. I don't even know if I can describe the amount of time that we all put in. You know, you guys all put in the same amount of time watching and consuming content and being helpful, being here with us for the last, 20 plus hours of draft coverage. Like, that's a commitment. Right. So thank you guys all for being here with us. Honestly, yesterday in studio might have been the best 4 hours of content we've ever produced. I think that was fantastic. Yeah. Being able to do that together for the first time was awesome, and looking forward to doing that again in the future. Maybe sooner than you think. You never know, guys.
Yeah. You do never know. So everyone, enjoy this. Enjoy watching the clips and highlights. We'll have some reaction for you. And then Monday, we get rolling on what this team's going to look like next. Thank you all for your time. Take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you soon.